Welcome to Snippets that help shape our lives. Today we'll be looking at the accountability and what it means to be accountable. The dictionary describes accountability as the quality or state of being accountable, an obligation or willingness to accept responsibility or to account for one's actions. It is a willingness to be transparent, allowing others to observe and evaluate one's performance. Biblically, accountability, as expressed in Romans chapter 14, verse 12, reads, "So then, each one of us shall give account of himself to God." Accountability is simply about speaking and acting in truth. The act of being responsible is to be answerable. Accountability is important whether it is in politics, sports, at workplace, market, anywhere. In our personal habits, behavior, character, we must be accountable. Lack of accountability can destroy nations where politicians are not held accountable for unfulfilled promises or their actions while in office. They do whatever pleases them and nobody calls them to order or bring them to book. The government, on the other hand, is not accountable to the people she governs. As a people, we all should be held accountable for our action. And as born-again Christians, we are accountable to God, our fellow Christians, and those we propose to bring to Christ. If you lack accountability in the body of Christ, then you are not true to what you profess. We must be accountable to what we believe or profess. In 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 12, Apostle Paul describes the church members as members of one body, responsible for and accountable to each other. Accountability is not just important for Christians, it is essential. Matthew chapter 12, verse 36 reads, "But I tell you that men will give an account on the day of judgment for every careless word they have spoken." This verse made it very clear that whether it is our good or bad deeds, careless thoughts, or even who we are as a person, we are held accountable to the standard of God's words. We are to be accountable for our words, our deeds, actions, and even for our very selves. Whether or not we make ourselves accountable in this life, we are ultimately accountable to God, who sees the depth of the heart of man. One day, we will stand before him and give an account of our accountability to him. Being made in the image of God makes it highly priority for us to x-ray ourselves constantly to see if we are living up to God's standard. Titus chapter 2 says that older men and women in the church should be good models for good behavior for younger men and women and keep them accountable for godly living. In other words, according to Proverbs 27 verse 17, iron sharpens iron and one person sharpens another. But what do we have today? Leaders are setting bad examples. They are living examples to the youth. They are living bad examples for the youths. The lifestyle of men and women of God do not portray being accountable to their congregation or to God. They have made it difficult for the youth to run with the vision as stipulated. What we have are cases of do as I say, not as I do. People simply do not care about being responsible for their actions. Our accountability as Christians is based on God's written laws as written in the Bible and engraved in our hearts. When we become Christians and accept the sacrifice Jesus Christ made to save us, accountability is meant as a role we strive to uphold in our thoughts, actions, and words to those around us. When we understand the impact that our thoughts, words, and actions can have on others, we will then know the importance of staying true to the responsibility of being a godly person. We are required to be accountable not just to the body of Christ, but in all spheres of life. In the workplace, in governance, in politics, in business, in our families, even in the society. Accountability is important for integrity between ourselves and others. Being accountable makes us better people. In accountability, relationships are formed and made. We all must be accountable to someone or something, even to ourselves. Most of all, we must be accountable to our Creator. Hebrews chapter 4 verse 13 reads, "No creature is hidden from him, but all things are naked and exposed to the eyes of him to whom we must give an account." There is no hiding place for the one who knows the secrets of your heart. Until I come your way again, remain accountable. I am Pastor Eunice Oji. Shalom.